Welcome back to Buy a Vet. John Ivankovich here. Today we're going to look underneath this very special 65 tanker car. Scott, tell us a little bit about the underneath of the car.
Well, the hardest part of the restoration is try to mimic what the factory did back in 1965. So when the car was assembled, obviously the body was painted off the chassis, but certain things were installed in the car when they painted it, like the bottom of the radiator core support, which should have white overspray because it was in there with the car, and it has new old stock GM upper and lower A-arms with the riveted in ball joints. All the hardware, as I said before, both on the inside and underneath, recycle all the hardware as much as possible to minimize using reproduction bolts, which I don't think there's any on this car. When you do the suspension, this is all assembled and painted at one time. Sometimes there will be a little bit more paint over the inspection marking, sometimes there isn't. So that's pretty much how it was when I got it, so I copied it. It has the correct Swan power steering hoses. It has the correct PF141 oil filter. That was new old stock at the time, right? What else?
Folks, you'll notice that everything on the car looks new. I do want to point out the exhaust. The exhaust is a correct 2-inch GM exhaust, which, if I'm not mistaken, you really can't get anymore.
No, you can't even get it when I got it. I just stumbled upon it from a gentleman that had it. He was advertising it as a 68, and I knew better. So it kind of just fell into my lap. But it is a real one-piece, 2-inch rear pipe attached, welded to the muffler with the GM embossment.
Wow. We'll notice it again, your frame, everything just as it should be in this car. The heat shielding, all correct.
You got all the underneath the pan, every bracket underneath and on the bulkheads was removed and re-riveted, so it's all clean under there. It's not dirty, it's not covered up, it's all clean.
Wow.
Here's your 36-gallon gas tank. They just simply cut 2 holes in the bottom of the jack stow area, and then they attach the line. There's a crossover line in case one came down. It's to even the fuel, so it's balanced all the time. The hoses, when I found them, had a greenish, yellow-green stamping, so I just had a company remanufacture a stamp for me, and I got some ink that wouldn't come off with gasoline and restamped all the hoses with the day codes.
Wow. We'll notice even the shims are in beautiful shape with our trailing arms. If you ever want to know how one should look, there they are.
And in the back, you can really see the inner workings or the rear workings of the 36-gallon gas tank, where it's cut through right in the back of the bulkhead, where the filler net goes through, and then also on the back they marked it before they even started building the car with NO3, so they knew exactly how to configure the body when they were building it.
Wow. And folks, just so you know, this car does not have a spare tire carrier because they were not made with that. The big tanker car that was shipped overseas did not receive that. Folks, as we take one more pass through, and you can take a look, if you have any further questions about this car, you can reach me at 770-605-2056 or at john@buyavet.net. Or let's make an appointment. Come on in and see this beauty for yourself. We'll see you on the road.